Hi friends, and welcome to your morning yoga practice, Rise Up Yoga. Today's yoga flow is going to have a lot of standing postures, but we're going to start off very slow in a child's pose and work our way up. This flow is for all levels. It's going to be short, 15 minutes, and can be done in the morning, but also early afternoon or late evening. We're going to start in a child's pose, so bring your knees together and send your hips back towards your heels. We're going to send our arms back by our legs this time, back by our feet. Let your forehead rest on the ground and let your shoulders round forward. Let your elbows bend and relax with gravity. Start to tune into your breath and take deep, full breaths into your low belly, into your torso. Feel the exhales come out as you relax. Your body maybe melt it onto your thighs or onto the ground a little more. And every exhale just melting a little bit more. Try not to think of anything you have to do. Just take this time. You've already taken the time out to do this 15-minute yoga flow, so just take some time right now to focus on being here in this moment in your body. Notice the sensations that you feel, maybe on your knees or your thighs, your shoulders, your head. When you're ready, bring your arms and your hands underneath your shoulders and start to roll up, leaving the chin to come up last since that was tucked in. Coming out of this kneeling position, we'll tuck the toes under, send the hips back towards the heels once more, and then we'll send the hips up high for downward facing dog as we lift the knees. Bring the feet hip width apart or feet together, and feel free to walk them out a little bit farther on the mat or maybe a little closer, whatever feels best here. We're grounding down through all 10 knuckles of the fingers, especially that pointer finger, knuckle, and thumb, rotating the inner elbows to face the front of the room, and your ears are by your biceps. Push away from the mat. Inhale to fill up your belly here. Exhale to lift your tailbone up just a little bit more. Pedal out the feet here. Start to stretch out through the backs of the legs. On your next inhale, you're going to look up to the middle of your mat or up to the edges of your hands, of your palms, if you can reach there. And then exhale to slowly start to walk or tiptoe or hop your feet up to meet the backs of your hands. We'll inhale to take the hands up to the shins or the thighs. Stay here for a couple of breaths. We settle in, lift the torso up off of the thighs. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. On your next inhale, create length through the back of the neck. Pull the crown of the head towards the front of the room. Exhale to pull the shoulders away from the neck a little more. Imagine a teacup resting on the back of your neck. One more big inhale. And exhale to fold back over your legs, forward fold. Generous bend in the knees here as much as you need to. Let your head hang loose. Let your arms fall wherever they fall. Bending at your hips here, not at the waist. Start to heel toe your toes to touch and your knees to be slightly apart. Stack your knees on top of your ankles. Sit your sits bones back into an imaginary chair. Your fingers can stay on the floor here. Or option to sweep them up and up to the sky, coming into a chair pose, lifting your torso off of your knees again, but keeping a generous bend in the knees, coming into a chair pose, as if you're sitting into an imaginary chair. Your chair pose can be high today, just lifting that torso, that chest up away from the thighs. Inhale, crown of the head reaches up, and exhale to bend over your legs, bend at the hips, and straighten out through the legs just a little. Heel toe your feet out to be straight, pointing towards the front of the mat. Plant the hands and step your right foot back. heel toe and move that left foot up and around to be in between your hands, and so that the left knee is directly above the left ankle. Drop that back right knee, coming into a low lunge here. Untuck that back foot, and then come onto your fingertips as you slowly inhale to reach the chest up high. If you're feeling like this is too tight, feel free to come out of it a little bit and maybe bring your hands onto your chest here, onto your hips here. Inhale, pull your thighs towards one another, push through that back foot and that left foot, that left sole of the foot. Exhale to maybe sink in a little bit deeper. Plant your hands on the ground, an option to lift that back right knee, tuck the toes under, lifting that back knee. On your next inhale, open up to the left side of the room, lifting your left fingertips to the sky and twisting open to the left side. Finding a gentle twist here. Inhale, exhale, sink your hips down a little bit. Big inhale, look up to the sky maybe. And exhale to release your hands back down to frame your right foot, your left foot. Drop that back knee, untuck that right foot, and then start to walk your hands back towards your hips, straightening out through that left leg. Send the left toes straight up to the sky and then maybe back to face you. Hips are level here as we find a half split pose. Generous bend in the left knee to avoid hyperextending through that left leg, but bend it as much as you need to here until you find a gentle stretch through the back hamstring. When you're ready, walk your hands back forward, plant that left foot on the ground, bent into that left knee. Untuck that right back foot again, plant both hands on the ground, send the left foot back, coming into a plank pose for just a second here. Inhale and exhale to send your hips up high, downward facing dog. Bend through the knees here. Energetically send energy out from the heels towards the mat. Your heels don't have to touch here though. And again, arms are by your biceps, inner elbows rotating forward, biceps rotating back, and ground down through all 10 knuckles, especially that thumb and that pointer finger knuckle. Inhale to look up slightly, and then exhale to slowly tiptoe your feet up to meet the backs of your hands. Halfway lift, inhale, bring the hands to the shins or thighs, lift the torso, pull the shoulders away from the ears, and exhale to roll back over, forward fold, bending at the hips, bending over the legs. Plant the hands and step the left foot back this time. Heel toe the right foot to be in between your hands so that knee is directly above the right ankle. Drop that back left knee, untuck the left toes, and come up onto your toes. Option to come up onto your hips here to come out of that low lunge just a little bit. Inhale, reach the crown of the head up to the sky, and exhale to sink into it a little bit more. Pull your inner thighs towards one another to find stability here. Inhale once again, and exhale to sink in just a little bit. On your next inhale, you're going to tuck the left toes under, lift that back left heel, and open up to the right side of the room, bringing your right fingertips up to the sky, twisting open to the right side. Returning to your breath here. On your next inhale, open up your chest just a little bit. Exhale to sink your hips down. Inhale to twist open. Exhale to sink down. And then release that right hand to frame the right foot. Place that left knee down, untuck the toes, and walk your hands back towards your hips as you straighten out through that right leg. Send the toes up to the sky and then back towards you. Keeping your hips level here, so maybe you pull back that right thigh. So maybe you pull back that right hip. Inhale to come out of it a little bit. Exhale to maybe sink in and stretch a little deeper. Fold into it a little more. Walk your fingertips and your hands back up, rolling through, bringing that right knee over the right ankle again, returning to a low lunge. From here, untuck the left toes, send the right foot back, plank pose. Inhale, stay strong here, lift the hips, and exhale, downward facing dog. Send the tailbone up high to the sky, send the hip creases up high to the sky. Returning to your breath, pedal out the feet, and then find stillness. Option to come down to child's pose here as we hold this for a few more breaths. Breathing in and out through the nose. big breath in, slow, controlled breath out. On your next inhale, slightly look up, and exhale to walk, tiptoe, hop, or jump your feet up to meet the backs of your hands. From here, we'll slowly roll up, bending through the knees, then straightening through the knees, straightening through the hips, the low back, the upper back, and lastly the chin, coming into a mountain pose. Rotate your palms to face forward towards the front of the room. Option to close the eyes here. Bring your feet hip width apart or whatever feels good. You don't have to look at them to bring them, just keeping your eyes closed. Rotate your inner thighs towards one another. Ground down through all four corners of the feet, especially that big toe knuckle. Inhale, lift the chest. Roll the shoulders up, down, around, and back to pull them away from the ears. Take a big breath, filling up your entire belly, your entire torso. And then exhale, open mouth, let it all out. Good. From here, we'll turn to face the long side of our mat, bringing our feet almost to legs width apart. Outside edges of our feet are parallel with the sides of the mat, so the toes are coming in just slightly. Take your hands onto your hips and slowly start to bend over your hips, keeping stable through your knees, pushing into the outside edges of that foot, but equally pushing into the inside corners, so all four corners of that foot slowly until you reach a halfway point. Once you're here, drop your arms. They might not reach, they might reach, but bring your torso to halfway lift, almost coming into a wide-legged halfway lift. Inhale, reach the crown of the head towards the front now. And exhale to maybe just keep going, keep folding. Slight bend in the knees. Push into the outer edges of that foot. Finding a stretch through the back of the legs, maybe the inner thighs, or finding a gentle stretch here too, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Option 2, bring your hands, interlace them behind your back, and bring your fingertips or your knuckles to face towards the sky. Option to keep your hands on your hips or to bring them down. Maybe eventually your elbows and your crown of your head touches the floor. Inhale to halfway lift and exhale to fold over again. Heel toe the feet in slightly. Halfway lift coming onto your fingertips. And this time turn the heels in and turn the toes to point out slightly. We'll start to bend into the knees. Drop the hips, bringing the thighs parallel to the floor. Bring your hands onto your hips and then lift your torso, coming into a goddess pose. Try to keep everything in line in this plane of where you are now. Inhale to lift the arms up above overhead, and exhale for cactus arms, bending your elbows, bringing them parallel to your shoulders. Bring your shoulder blades to touch back behind you. And then release, straighten out through those legs, and bring the arms up to face and to reach for either corner of the room. Inhale, 5-star pose, and exhale to bring your palms to touch and bring them to heart center. Heel toe your feet back in or just step your feet back in. But that is all I have for you all today. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this sunrise wake up yoga flow helps you kind of get into your morning and start it off with a little bit of low energy as we eased into it, and then a little bit of high energy at the end. Please share this with anyone who you think might like it. Let me know how it went for you down in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you next time. Sending love and light from my heart to yours.